We're going to be learning today the Gemara from Chok Israel. Typically, we learn the Halacha Psuka or the Mishnah, but occasionally we also record the Gemara. Tanu Rabbanan, Velo tonu et ish et amito. The pasuk says, "Don't cause grief to a fellow Jew." Be'ona'at devarim hakatuv medaber. This pasuk refers to a verbal offense against someone, to wronging somebody verbally by saying something to hurt his feelings or things similar to that. Could it be that the pasuk is speaking about wronging somebody financially, in other words, cheating someone or taking from him improperly some money, like, overcharging? Could that be that? We have another pasuk, another verse that speaks about financial wronging someone, about overcharging or cheating someone. The pasuk says, when you sell to your fellow Jew, or if you make a purchase, you should not charge improperly. So what is this first pasuk, Lo tanu ish et amito, that we quoted here? So it must be that the pasuk that speak about wronging, the extra pasuk must speak about wronging somebody with words. How is it? If a person was a Ba'al Tshuva, if he had repented, he should not tell him, remember what you used to do before. I know you before you did Teshuvah. Remember you used to do this and that. He would offend the person, because, of course, when a person is repentant, he's sorry over what he's done. And reminding him of his first act might cause him some atzar. It must cause him some, discomfort. He'll be offended. It must cause him some grief. So it would be wrong to do that. Imaya ben Gerim, if he was the son of people who converted, he should not tell him, remember the deeds of your fathers, your grandparents. You don't remind somebody who converted, or somebody who's converted, whose parents converted. You don't remind them of their past. If he was himself a convert and he comes to learn Torah, he should not tell him, how could a mouth that ate non-kosher food come and learn Torah that was said by Hashem, that was given to us by Hashem? In other words, don't offend him. This happens sometimes. People are not careful how to speak to somebody who converted. When somebody is a true, genuine convert, we have to be careful how we speak to them. We have to love them and accept them with open arms, and not, chaz v'shalom, not to tell them any comments that might hurt their feelings. Imayu isurin bain alav, imaya halain bain alav shayim kabel banav. If unfortunately somebody had illnesses, or if he had sufferings, or if he lost a child, people should not tell him, like the friends of Eov said, Halo atlecha kislatecha tikvatecha vetom derachecha. They should not tell him, like they told him, the friends of Eov, is not your fear of God your confidence, and your hope, the integrity of your ways? Remember, and pray, whoever perished being innocent, is there anybody? Zechorna miuna ki avad. Like they told him, there is nobody that gets suffering without a reason. In other words, if a person is suffering, you don't tell him you must have done averot, and that's why you're being punished. That would be hurtful to a person. A person has to be careful how we speak to others. Even if we know that nothing happens just by chance, there are ways to put things, to speak to people, so don't offend him. Brings another example of using the mouth in the wrong way. If people who were like donkey drivers were asking him, where can we find grain to buy? You should not send them to a person telling him, this guy sells grain and he never sold grain. In other words, just using your mouth to mislead them, to fool them. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Af lo yitle enav ala mekach b'sha'a she'en lo damim, שהרי הדבר מסור ללב, וכל דבר מסור ללב נאמר בו, ויראת מאלוקיך. Another example. You don't go to a store that you have no intention to buy anything, and you're looking at the objects and asking questions as if you were about to buy. You're bringing the hopes up of the person who's trying to sell, and you're misleading him with words. That's also another way that you could use your words to do it wrong. Now, you can say, I'm not necessarily intending to buy. I'm asking you just these questions because I want to find out information. I'm comparing prices. I'm shopping. You're alerting the person. You're not bringing up his hopes unnecessarily, because if you do give the impression, and some people even try to give the impression that they're buying when they're not buying, and such a way is using your speech to mislead someone, that's also considered to be ona'at devarim, using words to wrong someone. And he says here, these are things that only you would know, because it's only in your heart. Nobody knows what's in your mind. And that it says, there's a pasuk, Ve'yareta me'elokecha. You should be afraid from Hashem because He knows what's going on in your heart. Maybe the salesman doesn't know, but Hashem knows. Amar Rabbi Yochanan mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Gadol ona'at devarim ona'at mamon, שזה נאמר בו ויראת מאלוקיך וזה לא נאמר בו ויראת מאלוקיך. If you were to compare wronging somebody financially, like overcharging him, or wronging somebody with words, hurting his feelings, the hurting a person with words is even more serious, because on that it says you should be God-fearing, but on wronging somebody financially, that expression is not used. Even though it's wrong, it's not used in the same way that wronging someone with words. Rabbi Elazar omer ze begufo veze bemamono. Rabbi Elazar, the other reason is hurting somebody with his feelings. This happens to the person himself, and if you wronged him financially, that's only his money, not him. Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani amar ze nitan le'shavon veze lo nitan le'shavon. The difference is if you wrong somebody financially, you can make up for it. You can pay him the money that you took from him improperly, and you've set the record straight. But if you hurt somebody's feeling, it would be very difficult to return to before what happened. In other words, the person still might get so offended that he would still be offended. And here, I will stop here at this concept in the Gemara. He was taught in front of Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, anybody that embarrasses a person in public, it's as if he poured his blood. In other words, as if he had killed that person. So grave it is to embarrass somebody in public. And this was here from the Gemara that we're learning today, on Wednesday, Parashat Vaera. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.